Yogi Klein, welcome back to Yogi Cycle Service. Today, we put an eBay air ride system on this bike, and I want to show you how it's done because there are very few videos out there that show you how to do it. So, before we get into this, I just want to welcome you to Yogi Cycle Service. If you are new to this channel here, I am Yogi, your host, and here we do things like putting on air rides and doing anything motorcycle related. Tips, tricks, service, whatever. Anything Yogi related. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Mash that subscribe button. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoy this air ride system. Let's talk about it. So this came from off of eBay. It was, I think, probably about $160. It comes with, this is your compressor. And it comes with airline, it comes with the wires, it comes with the dump valve, the switch to raise and lower. It comes with the relay and a fuse kit. And it also comes with the shocks and the hose. And it will come in a parts bag like this. You can see it comes with a little 1/8 inch hose. They sent a whole roll of it. They also sent like some plumbing Teflon tape so you can secure connections. They send you this cute little cutter thing so you can cut your hose. And they send you with a whole bunch of fittings because you do have an option where you can connect it to a pressure gauge so you can see where air pressure is. So this is currently, I do have it currently lifted. Let's go ahead and lower it. I don't have the bracket yet. I'm waiting on the bracket. So we can lower it, hit the button, raise it back up. Now I've been sitting here in the garage. I just finished this about an hour ago. And I just kind of wanted to sit and watch and make sure I didn't have any leaks and it wasn't dropping. And it's been holding very good. I was pretty surprised about that. Two areas where it leaked, did leak air. One, this little fitting on your compressor here. And two, the little fitting on the dump valve. So you need to make sure you use the Teflon tape for that. Now, the one drawback of this kit is it does not come with the mounting bracket because it's just like a universal kit. So you can mount the compressor anywhere. So you do have to buy a mounting bracket to mount it. So instead of buying a mounting bracket, I went on to the internet and did some searches. I pulled up dirty air ride system because this is a knockoff of a dirty air ride system. They had a mounting bracket where you could put it over here on the bike, but as you can see, his power commander's here, his EFI units here. There's a whole bunch of stuff, so it would not fit behind this cover. So I decided I'm going to mount it over here behind the shock, up right adjacent, right next to the rotor. Well, I didn't have the bracket for that, and looking online, the bracket's $50. So I took a piece of cardboard, actually a Cheerios box, and I kind of took what they did online, and I drew up my own bracket with measurements on it. And I sent it to my buddy who's a machinist and said, hey man, I don't care, aluminum, 1/4 inch stainless steel, whatever you want to make it out of, make me one of these please. This bracket will mount to where your saddlebags mount, and then it will mount onto the bracket about like that, and then that will mount into where your bags are. So it'll be tucked back in here nicely behind this shock. He did not, unfortunately, leave me with his bag, so I'm not 100% sure it'll work. We'll make it happen. So let me take you for a tour and show you how I put this together, because it does come, if I can find where I lost it, here we go. It does not come with your typical instructions. It comes with a map. And it came with this map right here. If you've seen the video I just made and put out about buying stuff off of eBay, I kind of talk about this a little bit. Instructions are very limited. Matter of fact, the color code's on here. So it says out of the toggle switch, there's a yellow wire, a blue wire, and a green wire. You look at this toggle switch, there is a yellow wire, a red wire, and a black wire. So the toggle switch colors don't match. The relay says it has a blue, a red, a white, and a black. The relay is right here. It has 2 greens, a yellow, and a white. So the only one that matched was this white here. So Luckily, on this blueprint, on this map, it said, hey, this wire here is number 87, this was number 85, that's number 86, and that's number 30. So you can pull the relay out of here, and written on the back of the relay are those numbers. So you can then look and say, okay, well, number 30, that's this green wire here. Number 85 is that white wire there, which actually matches. And then number 86 is this yellow wire here, which is the black wire there. That's why I have in Sharpie marker on here what the actual colors of the markers are. So a little bit rudimentary, not quite accurate, typical off an eBay product. But you know what? I say that this product actually worked fairly well. It's about, I think the customer said it was a $160 air ride system. Doesn't have any indication of the brand. It's just a knockoff. It's just a knockoff dirty air ride system is what it is. So I started by figuring out where I want my components. Obviously, you're going to put your two shocks where your shocks go. So then I needed to figure out, where do you want your switch to be? Where are you going to put your dump valve? Where are you going to put your relay? And where are you going to put your compressor? Those are the things you need to figure out. Now, on this particular bike, he has these nice chrome covers here. He's going to put these covers here. All his switches are used up on the dash, and he just repainted this bike, so I really didn't want to drill any holes in it. I don't have this cover. I could probably put a hole in the side of the cover and put this switch coming out of it, which is maybe what we're going to do eventually. But I don't have the cover. He didn't leave me with the cover, so I don't have that to do it. So I just left this switch right now floating. So he can put the cover on here, and then you can leave this switch hanging out of it, and then he can control it from there. So it's kind of a floating switch. We'll figure out what to do with this when the customer gets back here. I just didn't really want to drill holes in chrome, and I didn't want to mess up his new paint. So I left the switch there as is. But let's go for a tour. So this is actually going to come, let's see if I can get the camera angle, and it's going to sit in here about like that. I realize the lighting's not very good. I apologize. So it's going to sit about like that. So I'm just going to put this right here. So at the end of the day, this compressor is going to sit right about there like that. That will be its location. It's about a 1/4 inch from hitting back here and about a 1/4 inch from hitting his rotor there. It's going to be tucked in as deep as I can get it. So hopefully it'll fit behind the saddlebag. So you took the air line from here and his ground and his battery line. I ran them all together up under till I got to this T right here. And I teed off and came down into this shock. And these are press fits. So if you squeeze this and you pull this down, you can pull the tube out. So if you get the tube, if you stick the tube down into the hole, press it in till you feel it seat. You can feel it when you push down on it, you can feel it seat down in there. Now if you want to get it out, you just wind up pushing down on this, and then you can pull the tube back out. So compress it down, pull the tube back out. Really easy, quick connect fitting. And they work pretty well, and they hold air pretty well. So I put a T here, that way I could spin it off and put my first connection to this shock here. Ran my air line along this way to where it comes to right there. And I put a second T in. I ran one hose coming over this way, and it snakes back down here, and then it comes out of here and then goes into the shock right there. And then from this T here, as it comes across the frame, I ran it down in here and then put it into my dump valve right there. The wiring comes up out of the dump valve. One will go to the switch. The red wire will go to the switch. Now that you've seen it on the bike, it might be easier to see here. The black will go to the ground. The red will come out and go and join into your toggle. This toggle switch will come out and go to your power. Another one will come out and go to your relay. And the relay goes to power, to ground, to the compressor. And then the compressor, the other black wire goes to ground. So you wind up having 3 grounds. You have a ground on your relay, a ground on the compressor, and a ground on the dump valve. Coming over to here to his frame, I have the ground coming from the dump valve right here, and I soldered There's my other ground coming from the compressor and coming from the relay. And I took 2 wires, as you can see here, 2 wires, soldered them together, heat shrunk it, and then attached it there. I did the same with the positive cable. It has 2 wires. You can see it's on a fuse. One comes from the compressor, and the other one, I believe, comes from the relay. Soldered those both together and then connected it to his battery terminal. So all in all, not very hard. Now this customer does have a lot of wires. He has a lot going on this bike. He has a light system. He has an extra heavy-duty sound system. But I tried to keep this as nice and clean as I could. I zip tied everything together. All my lines are all zip tied together. I have to admit, it does look a little bit like a spaghetti mess, but it's all pretty neat and clean and pretty tight. And, you know, I ran zip ties along here about every 4 to 6 inches to try to keep not only my wiring together, but my hoses together. And I realized I probably could have put heat shrink along this whole thing, or cable protectors along the whole thing, but man, it's gonna be covered up by the saddlebags. So I didn't bother with that. Plus I had to make some soldering connections because the wiring that comes with this is off the compressor is maybe about 1.5 to 2 foot long. So I had to make 2 solder connections here to extend the wiring so I could get to the battery, and so I could get to the switch. So the wiring, the tubing is ample. There is enough tubing, but the wiring is not. You're going to need some extra wire. Unfortunately, I do a lot of handlebars here at Yogi Cycle Service, so I have extra wire, and I had extra solder and extra heat shrink. No big deal, but really, you know, it's a beautiful bike. It's a 2002 Ultra Classic. I'm not sure the mileage on it. I haven't checked the miles, but it's a really nice bike. It's a pretty sweet bike. And the air ride system, let's go ahead. Oh, one thing I do want to mention to you. This nut, you got to be careful it doesn't bang into that pipe. Some people dent their pipe there and recess their pipe because it will hit. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to lower it. There we go. There's full down. Now when you raise it up, oh, I gotta hold this compressor. I don't know if I can do this with one hand. I'm gonna hold the phone and the compressor in the same hand. There we go. Here we go, ready? Right there. Have to stop right there, because if you look, see the camera angle here, that nut, that bolt is right on top of that pipe. And if I keep going, which I think I can, you're going to crush that pipe. See, right there it's touching. And if you keep going, you'll probably drive that down into the pipe. You don't want to do that. So you're going to need to be very cautious on how much you raise this bike, because that pipe is gonna hit. So let's lower it down a little, just to be, there we go, just to get it away from it. But there you go, that's it. That is an eBay air ride system for 160 bucks. Not bad, not bad. The instructions were weak, but the parts were ample. The only thing I would say that was really short, like I said, is the wiring. And that was really no big deal. But you will need to know how to solder, or if you don't solder, maybe you can buy those quick connects to do the splices, to do the splicing. Personally, I think soldering is a much more permanent and better job. But it took me 2 hours to get this installed. You will need new bolts. The stock bolts are 2 inches, and they are too short. So I bought some, went to Lowe's, $2 each. Grade 8. I bought at 2.5 inches. I don't remember what the size is. This is grade 8, 1/2 by 13 thread, 2.5 inches long. So that's my only caution I would say, is watch your pipes. And just make sure you don't have any leaks. That's probably why a pressure gauge is pretty nice to have on there. That way you can see if while you're riding, if you're dropping pressure, you know there's a problem. I did have 2 leaks. I had one by my dump valve, by my compressor, but I took those 2 fittings off, wrapped the Teflon tape around them, put them back in. Problem solved. Now the fittings did come, and it looked like it already had the Teflon on it, but that wasn't ample, so I put the Teflon tape on it. Problem solved. I'm impressed. For an eBay system, I think this one's pretty good, because I'm not much of an eBay fan, but for this particular system, I'm interested to see how long it lasts. I think the only problem that the customer may eventually have is just the durability of this compressor unit. How will it fare with the elements? I personally ride in a lot of rain, so if it can withstand the rain and withstand the elements, then hey man, thumbs up. So I'm interested to see some feedback. I know the customer is a subscriber of this channel, and that's how he found me. So I'm honored to be able to do this for him. I hope I can do future projects on this bike. If it weren't so late at night, I'd take a little bit more time to do a walk around on this bike. But he built this himself. He put a little mini Razor Tour Pack on it. He's repainted it. He did a great job, in my opinion, with the paint. It's a beautiful bike. He's done a great job with it. So hats off to him. He did a wonderful job. He just wanted an air ride system. Say, hey man, you might help me out with an air ride system. So here we are. So thank you for joining us. I hope you found this beneficial. And my review is not bad, man. This product's pretty good. So let's see how well it holds up. And maybe he can comment on here on what he thinks and his view of this system and how he likes it. So Yogi Clan, thank you for joining. I hope you have an awesome week and an awesome day, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.